Welcome to Part 5. This set is about the more human, reflective side of leadership, taking over a new team, partnering with product, lifting other people up, and hearing hard truths about yourself. 4 questions, same format, the method, and then a full worked answer for each. The spine one more time because it carries every answer. Star, situation, task, action, result, plus L for learning. Own it with the word I. Keep the setup short and live in the action. Let's begin. First question, how do you approach your first 90 days with a new team? The trap is to charge in as the hero fixer and reorganize everything before you understand any of it. Instead, listen before you change. Resist the urge to reorganize on day 1. Meet everyone, read everything. One-on-ones with the team and your partners, then find and ship one early visible win to build trust. And only then, set direction with the team, not at them. Here's the story. The situation, I was asked to take over a team that had a genuinely terrible reputation. It had missed 3 launches in a row, other teams had quietly stopped depending on it, and the morale inside it was at rock bottom, and leadership wanted a fast turnaround, which created a lot of pressure to come in swinging. My mandate was to turn it around, but I made a deliberate choice to resist the pressure to slash and reorganize on day 1. First, I listened for a full 3 weeks before changing anything. I did one-on-ones with every single engineer and with every frustrated partner team, and I just asked one question: what's actually wrong here? Second, that listening found the real problem, and it wasn't the people, which is what everyone had assumed. It was an impossible scope, no clear priorities, and constant thrash coming down from above. The team wasn't lazy, it was set up to fail. Third, I shipped a fast, visible win. I went and renegotiated our scope with leadership. I cut the roadmap in half, and with that focus, the team delivered one solid, real thing within a month. That single win started rebuilding trust inside and outside the team. And fourth, only then did I set direction with them, a focused mission that the team helped write, and I put myself between them and the thrash from above. The result, after 3 straight misses, we were delivering on time again, trust with our partner teams was rebuilt, and team morale jumped 28 points. What I learned: resist the hero fixer urge, diagnose first, ship one early win, and then set the direction together. Second question, tell me about a conflict with a product manager or a partner. The trap is to make it engineering versus product, or, just as bad, to silently comply and quietly resent it. Instead, assume a shared goal. You both want a great product. Separate the what from the how. The PM owns the what and the why. You own the how and what it costs. Bring data and options, not a veto. And above all, protect the relationship because you'll work with this person for years. Here's the story. The situation, my product partner wanted a major feature shipped in 2 weeks to hit a big launch event. My team was certain it needed 4 weeks, and doing it in 2 would have meant cutting our testing on a payments flow, where a bug means real money lost. It got tense fast, and it was starting to feel like engineering versus product. My mandate was to protect both the quality and the relationship, without just stonewalling him with a flat no. First, I anchored us both back on the shared goal. We both wanted a successful launch. Neither of us wanted a demo that broke live on stage. Once that was said out loud, we were on the same side of the table again. Second, I respected the line between us. I explicitly acknowledged that the launch date was his call to make, but the engineering risk was mine to make visible, clearly, and without drama. Third, I brought options, not a veto. I laid out the real risk of the payments flow, and instead of just saying no, I offered a phased plan, a solid, well-tested core feature ready for the event, and the rest following about a week later. And fourth, we made the trade-off jointly. We chose the phased plan together, and I put it in writing so it was clearly a shared decision, not me overruling him. The result, we launched on time with the core safely. There were 0 payment bugs on stage, and honestly, the partnership came out stronger because he learned he could trust me to find a path, not just block him. What I learned: turn a versus into a shared trade-off. win the decision with data, and keep the partner. Third question, tell me about someone you mentored or sponsored. And know the difference because it matters. Mentoring is advice you give them. Sponsorship is advocacy for them when they are not in the room. Invest beyond just your own reports and sponsor with your capital. Put their name forward, hand them visible work, and defend it in the rooms that matter. Then measure it by their trajectory. Did they get promoted or unstuck? Their growth is the receipt. Here's a story about sponsorship specifically. The situation, there was a quiet, mid-level engineer on a neighboring team. Her name was Mira, and she did consistently excellent work, but she got almost no recognition for it. She wasn't loud, she was on a low-visibility team, and she'd been stuck at the same level for years, watching louder people get promoted past her. Now, here's the thing, she wasn't even my report, but I could see her own manager wasn't advocating for her, so I decided to sponsor her anyway. First, I started with mentoring. Regular sessions on how to scope her work bigger, how to make it visible, and how to actually navigate our promotion process, which nobody had ever explained to her. Second, I moved from mentoring to real sponsorship, and that's the key difference. I pulled her onto a high-visibility, cross-team project that I had influence over. I put her where the important work was. Third, I spent my own political capital on her. I put her name forward in staffing rooms she wasn't in, and I vouched for her specifically in the promotion calibration meeting where decisions actually get made. And fourth, I coached her own manager on how to advocate for her so that the support would continue long after I stepped back. The result, she was promoted to senior and within another year to a lead role. She'd earned genuine cross-team visibility, and I'd helped fix the pattern for her whole overlooked team. What I learned, mentoring is advice. Sponsorship is spending your own credibility to open a door that someone has already earned. Last question, and it's really a test of coachability. Tell me about tough feedback you received and what you did with it. The trap is to pick flattering feedback or to explain why the feedback was actually wrong. That fails the test instantly. Instead, pick feedback that genuinely stung. Own it without defending. The tell is your first reaction. Did you get curious or defensive? Then make a visible change and close the loop with the person who gave it. And the final story, which is about hearing something hard about yourself. The situation, in a skip-level review, my own manager told me something that really stung. He said my team found me intimidating in technical discussions. As a strong engineer, my instinct was to jump straight in with the answer, and the effect was that people had started staying quiet and just deferring to me instead of actually thinking for themselves. I was accidentally making my own team worse. My mandate to myself was to actually change this, not to explain it away. First, I sat with the discomfort, and I'll be honest, my very first instinct was to defend myself, to say, well, I'm just trying to help. I caught that instinct, and instead I made myself get curious and I asked for specific examples. Second, I made a visible behavior change. In design reviews, I stopped giving my opinion first. Instead, I started asking questions and I waited. Third, I created space on purpose. I had other people present the designs and make the calls, and I deliberately let the silences sit, even when they were uncomfortable, so that someone else would fill them. And fourth, I closed the loop. A few months later, I went back and explicitly asked the team and my manager whether it had actually changed, and it had. The result, the team spoke up measurably more. We started making better decisions, not just faster ones, and because I closed the loop, the change actually stuck. What I learned, how you receive a hard truth about yourself is the single truest measure of whether you will keep growing as a leader. Let's recap part 5. When you take over a team, listen first and ship one early win before you reorganize anything. Turn a conflict with product into a shared trade-off, never a turf war. Remember that sponsorship is spending your own capital to lift someone, not just giving advice. And that being coachable, hearing a hard truth and actually changing, is one of the strongest senior signals there is. Same spine every time, star plus the learning. The best leaders listen hard, lift others, and never stop being coachable. Make these stories your own, and good luck. Thanks for watching.